Good morning, everyone. It's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm a little slow this morning. I was up at 3 o'clock to take my son to the airport, so I've been up since then. And I have a Divine Feminine read for you. I have a lot of sand art that came up this morning, as well as I'll do oracle cards at the end. Okay, so this might be a longer one today. I'm going to get right in with the sand art. It is December 28th, 2018. It is 9:01 right now. Okay, so I've been doing this all morning. The sand art. First thing that came out with the sand art was slab of meat, and then I started getting connection from my twin. So all through the sand art there may be some messages from my twin, but these are general messages to you guys. But slab of meat came out first, and then icebergs, and I literally got cold when I got iceberg. I got cold, and then I wrote burr. Ranges, canopies, and teepees came up. Then I sneezed, and then Mother Mary comforts children. Building sandcastles in the air. Seals clapping, both black and white, come out of the cave. Mountain villages formed, like overnight. Also handouts, and then dead bugs found. Ladybugs, and that was a whole theme that came up in the read today, or a roach. So this could be a leftover joint or something as well. Reading lamps, and ET, and clams, and then I heard really loud, phone home, really loud. And then I got connection from my twin again. That was at 8:30. But phone home was really significant. A very long flag, a banner year that we had. Hole in one came up again. Underbelly exposed, stinger examined, 3 contribute, tombs or cause of death discovered, a high priest or pope uncovered, yellow submarine coward under cover, dogs or boars eating remains, arm in a cavity, birth canal and depravity, redcoats and ladybugs are coming up as redcoats, and these both came up in the read. So this was really cool that they came up again in the sand art. Dogs, pigs, boars, insatiable, eye of Horus, seeing it all, steamrolling, rolling pin, bowling, and pinball wizard. Genital varicose vein, one ball and never the same. The Muppet Eagle came up with the eyebrows, you know. And also with the eyebrows came up Bert and Ernie. Okay, and then snuff and eyelashes. So snuff came up from snuffleupagus, but also snuff, because I was guided to write an abbreviation of snuffleupagus. So snuff and eyelashes. These are a few of my favorite things. I was literally hearing the song over and over. Brown paper packages tied up with string. And that I'm not sure. Here I really felt like my twin was telling me these things. When the dog bite, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things and then I don't feel so bad. So coming through from spirit, all right, this is a way for you to come out of your sadness. Also some more of my favorite things were coming up, like colon working, column searching, waves against the coast, capsizing the boat, garlic bread wrapping in foil, and chickenpox oil. So I was wondering if somebody uses garlic for chickenpox, and then also body wrap in a sauna. So these are the messages I get from sand art. Also from the sound of music. So the sound of music needs to come up as well. but also the line snow on your nose and eyelashes was coming up first from The Sound of Music. So these are some of your favorite things. So maybe make a list of your favorite things, okay, is what Spirit's telling you to do to help you get out of those slumps, okay? And now I'm going to get into the feminine read for you guys today. It's 28 today. That's the Two of Wands, twin flames. Choice of a path, co-creation. The day adds up to, and the 28 is a 1, it's masculine energy, the 8 on the inside of inner strength, staying at 0 point, manifesting, and then the 2 of the feminine energy on the outside. The day adds up to 51-6, which is the King of Swords. But 52 is coming up a lot too, which is the Queen of Swords. The King and Queen of Swords are emphasized today, and the Truth. And 51 is a 6 of mother, the motherly love, home, family, community. It's the 1 of the masculine energy on the inside, very driven, focused, and more selfish. And then the 5 on the outside, that of the salesman, who's very fun to talk to because they know a little about a lot of different things. And that produces that 6, okay, of love. King of Swords. And my father was a Gemini. He was a King of Swords for sure. Actually, his outer personality number was 51. He was a 42 soul number, which is the 2 of Cups. And my sister and I are both outer personality 42. So we reflected him. And then his outer personality was 51. So he was 6 and 6, very much who he was. They were both 6s. But he is the King of Swords, so I guess I'm bringing him up for a reason, so we'll see what comes up with that. All right, so I took my son to the airport very early this morning. And it's funny that Mother Mary came to me in the sand art because I sat in my driveway when I got home before coming in to let my CD finish and listen to my song Mother Mary. Okay? Because I have that written down, Mother Mary in the driveway, and this is before I did the read. And then okay, so when I first started doing the Divine Feminine read, and this was at 4:52 a.m. this morning, the Thinker came up, as well as 5 and Dime came up. Okay, 5 and Dime, so 5 times 2 is 10. And that came up with, well, 1010 came up in the numbers today, and 456 came up in sequence as well. But I'm remembering in the coding I'd gotten a download before about 2 and 5, and I looked it up, having to do with Eve. I'll have to go back and remember what that was. I can't remember right now. I have trouble retrieving sometimes. I apologize. All right, so there were the major arcana: Justice, Ascension, and Higher Self. Ascension is the world, and Higher Self is High Priestess. But Justice was the middle of the read today, the middle card. There were 2 swords, 4 wands for the feminine today, 1 cup and 1 pentacle, which is kind of funny because I got like 3 hours of sleep, so I'm not going to be in the mood to be doing a lot of physical activity. But we got four wands today. So very heavy weighted on the activity side, physical activity. The King of Wands and the King of Swords both came up today. 2 kings again. We've got 2 kings. I brought that up yesterday as well. And the coding just had to do with supporting, seeing 2, okay, so the twins, but also seeing to supporting divine co-creation and the ascension process. That was the message. There wasn't much there, and that's all it wanted to tell you. I was getting Divi as code for divine co-creation, because I see IVI is symbolic for me as co-creation, and I have some symbols of that as well, which will come out later, but not today, but in some things I'm working on. The numbers that came up were just 2 in the codes, and it was just 1001, as I was about to say 1010. Okay, so 10's very important. Again, I always tell you 10 is like that high vibration close to 0 point. But also 1001 came up, so the reflection of the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician, very much the masculine energy, but source supporting the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. So very strong energies going forward. Also 2411 came up. 24 is the Queen of Wands and 11 is Justice. So there may be some justice regarding the Queen of Wands today, which just in a general sense, 24 can have to do with being creative. And it can, 24 can represent the sacral chakra, really, the Queen of Wands. But in a general sense, it could be bringing that chakra up for us. And just, revolving around justice, because justice was the center card in the read, divine justice in the Syrian starseed deck. So, as we get into the read, and there's a lot of cool stuff that came up in this read, so stay tuned if you can. So the King of Wands came up, and it was funny for me. The King of Wands comes up in the recent past position as the shaman energy. The King of Wands in the Syrian starseed deck is this card, okay? So it's always very much, for me, shaman energy. Sometimes this comes up as some feminine friends I have, and sometimes it comes up as masculine, but it's very shaman, okay? And then the outcome or the solution card was the King of Swords. So I just wanted you to get a feeling for these two kings, okay? Because those are the two kings involved, okay? And I was getting very much, which I don't usually. I was getting my son, since I just left him before I did the read, I was getting him as the King of Wands for me, shaman, which was kind of cool that that was coming up, because I taught him something, a little tool to use with the muscle testing, and he was really getting a kick out of it using it before he left. So he's really learning to try to connect more to his higher self and his knowing, which he's learned a lot in the past 2 years, I have to tell you. It was just 12-12, which is all about wisdom and the hangman, hanging out and seeing a different way of seeing things, which my son was very much so. But it was coming up the King of Wands with the Four of Swords beneath him, which is very much about the thinking man. It's also about meditating. It's someone meditating on the beach. But I was getting like an unfair, that it was unfair that this King of Wands, like my son had to get up in the middle of the night this morning, that he would think it's unfair that he had to get up, or maybe he felt bad that he had to make me get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to take him to the airport. But it was just this energy of this King of Wands feeling something was unfair, thinking all night to see a little bit of light, which is funny because then we had to get up in the middle of the night where there's very little light. But thinking of the divine feminine and praying. So my son may be thinking of me, but you have to apply it to your situation. Thinking of the divine feminine and praying. His other half thinking of money at the top of his head, standing more on his right foot, or the masculine, and green grounding, working hard, but too hard for a small amount of money, and too many thoughts, meditating for messages, and maybe muscle testing, awakened to the need to ground more and to stable finances, and then work hard for his dream castle, which is funny, I didn't realize this came up here, dream castle, and then building castles in the air came up in the sand art. Prepared to climb that mountain, okay? And then I was hearing God on high. Here, it's from Les Mis, God on high, hear my prayer. And you can read the lyrics online if you'd like to. It's 14:14 now, which is the Temperance card about patience and balance and angels. It very much comes up representative, especially the Temperance cards that are angels, always come up to represent you guys when I pull cards for you. So God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there. So maybe the masculine who has not connected with God or source or creator in a long time, maybe is starting to connect with his higher self. But it's apparent that there's no money at work, overworking for the amount of money given. So this is coming up for the masculines. Performing for tricks. I mean, it can be the feminine depending on how masculine you are as well, but we always have both energies within us. So take what resonates and again, leave the rest. If nothing applies, don't force it to fit to your situation, and it's not your reading, okay? Performing for tricks, doing a jig, and then I got go, speed racer, go. And then a car raced south down my street. Performing for tricks, doing a jig, to raise the bar and be decorated, to help the Queen of Swords reverse, not have to work so hard. There's a whistleblower of unions who's not in her truth. She should be happier. She has the high ball, but dropped the low ball way too low. And I was relating it when I was writing this to when I was 8 years old and I went to visit my grandmother. I went on the Metroliner for the first time. It was very exciting because it was a very fast train. My dad escorted me there, but then he left me, when I got off the train. And when I got off the train to see my grandmother, I dropped my suitcase in the pit of the train. So when I said dropped this ball way too low, I was immediately taken to that moment. So you have a visual. So the question is how to retrieve the lower self, to not allow it to drop so low from 3D home. Keep an open mind, and reconciliation was underneath keep an open mind for the Divine Feminine. And then I got 3 faces of Eve: undying love, the Empress, and grief. 3 faces of the Divine Feminine, okay? Undying love, the Empress and her power, and then grief. The Empress is over a man with 2 girls or 2 women. So she could just be over it, done with it, or feeling like she's above that, okay? Empress over man with 2 girls or 2 women. So it could be talking about kids or actually having 2 women. Keeping her mouth shut. Then again, only you can make yourself a victim. Environment came up as the underlying energy as well, stressed greatly, and this was green and number 44, mastering everything, mastering your, everything in your environment, and making everything as green as you can. And underneath that was time out, which was purple 37, which is the King of Cups, unconditional love. Take a time out for love, to love your environment. Old man without wish at the bar with a toast, with 2 cups on standby, wishing to be a chef, or pass the bar, or have a B&B at a ski resort. So this old man without a wish, who's drinking at the bar, so this is referencing some of the masculines, making a toast with friends maybe, or maybe strangers, having 2 cups on standby, which doesn't sound good, thinking about all the things he wants to be. So depending on who your Divine Masculine is, the things that were coming up, or wishing to be a chef or pass the bar, a B&B at a ski resort. But then I was getting King of Swords reverse, his truth, to be a star or to be with a star, pure spring water to clean the waters, with star power versus sunflower, gold bottles, of course. Shadow side woman, mysterious and stacked, balancing emotions like water dancing on the oceans. Grass by the dunes, growing weed, maybe legal here soon. Stealing her light now, making a clean getaway from Aquarius, Sagittarius, impatient to shine his light, to heal and to dream. So then I had to go back, because more messages were coming through. The Divine Masculine was saying, this is no bed of roses, and I never promised you a rose garden. That he must seal the future for his kids, if he has kids. And then I was getting red boots. He has to seal the future for the kids and the red boots, and he was referencing the karmic as the red boots. And then I was getting Hooters. So I don't know if someone met their karmic at Hooters. I think that came up before. But also, obviously, someone who might have boobs or might have implants, that kind of thing. But it's emphasizing that energy, and red boots. It's kind of like hooker boots. But the Divine Masculine stressing that he has to seal the future for his kids and the karmic, the family crest, and then I was getting him referencing that family crest as empty shells that speak. Empty shells that speak. You know how the shell that speaks in your ear? Empty shells that speak. That's how he was referencing the people in his life. And then I was getting speakeasies, so somebody's referencing New Orleans. And then I was getting dead ladybugs. And also family lineage. Redcoats was coming out. Cardinals, Western Cowboy, Dallas, Texas, and Stone Age. And as I was getting to Dallas, Texas, I felt like they were referencing divine masculines, or the divine masculine referencing that people in Dallas, Texas are from the Stone Age. But you notice here a lot of red. Cardinals came up too. So cardinals, the cardinal, the bird, but also ladybugs, they're redcoats, and the English, right? So some more information comes up about all this because I was getting a lot of references, again, back to these things. And that came up in the sand art as well. Couldn't believe it. The picture of the sand art, when I first saw it, looked like a bug, looked like a roach that was on his back. The middle of it literally looked like a ladybug. It had the spots on his back. Very cool. So redcoats, you know, the British Army was from the 17th to the 20th century. Red leather boots was coming up as American Girl and Mackenzie's. Also, Hooters is based in Atlanta, which is funny because that's where my daughter is now. And 2 addresses of Hooters in Atlanta came up, 209 Peachtree and Peaches, which is funny because I used to know someone when I was in high school who called his girlfriend Peaches. Also, so it's on Peachtree Street, northeast. So northeast comes up again. That's been coming up a lot all year. And downtown. The other address was 2977 Cobb Parkway, southeast in Cumberland. So then Cardinals came up as Arizona and St. Louis, and also the Elite. So the NFL and the NBA. And then, so, you know, Cardinal is also elite Catholics. Okay, so the Pope was coming up a couple times here because that came up in the sand art as well. And then Dallas came up with JR and Larry Hagman, which I think I remembered for some reason that he was a Virgo. So that's kind of funny. So relating his personality to some of the divine masculines. And then I was also getting with the red coats and the red boots was coming up red laces, because the skinheads in the 70s used colors, you know, symbolically as messages. So white lace in a black boot was a skinhead, right? And then if the skinhead spilt blood of a non-white person or whatever, whoever they were challenging at the time, then they would make their laces red. So red laces was coming up here too. And actually 1973 came up here for that, for the skinheads. So some of the stuff that that came up from the stuff that just came up, ladybug infestations came up, and again, that's when the fact that the ladybug has a red coat with black spots on it. That ladybugs are actually good for gardens because they eat other bugs. They only hibernate in homes for the winter. They don't really multiply there, not usually, and they don't hurt the house, you know, the wood or anything like that. They just hibernate there. So obviously if there's swarms, they can cause damage because they're, you know, they may get too much moisture and they die and all that kind of stuff. But they, in their energy, are not harmful to your home. And they're very good for the gardens. The farmers love them because they kill all the bugs. But then in Spirit's Connecting with Me, in Spirit, one of the things that came up online was spirit animal. And this was just perfect, okay? So not only are they good luck for farmers, but it's coming up in this site. This site was wildgratitude.com, and it was Stacy LL Couch. She's a shaman. She's CSP CS two things. I think I wrote down wrong, but one was a shaman and one was another certification, and then she's also an author, a published author. But in this article was about the spirit animal of the ladybug. Ladybug, messenger of the divine feminine, a goddess energy, closer to intuition and receiving your gifts. The ladybug lifts off and carries us to the heart of the mother. Protection of freedoms, all freedoms, but mainly to wish and to dream. The last big step of your transformation will result in a quantum leap from one way of being to a completely new way of another, okay? You will have a gap of quiet during this time for transformation to take place, okay? So the ladybugs are like the butterfly, going from the moth to the butterfly. It's a little bit different, you know, they're on a leaf. But same thing, they go through a transformational hibernation. They have to molt 4 times before actually reaching the pupa stage, pupae, I forget how it's pronounced, but that stage. And actually they're called, when they're not yet ladybugs, they're called alligators. And then between the molts, they're called instars, within stars. Although we may not be complete, we can be of great service as we develop on the way. So this is talking about that time when you, quiet time, before you become the ladybug. And then it also brought up the numerology in reference to this for numbers 1 through 7, I guess for the number of spots that the ladybug has, or how many ladybugs you have. 1 was considered union, 2 duality, 3 is transcend opposites, 4 is cardinal direction, so here cardinal comes up again. Elements, that's also under 4, and then 5 is center, so center yourself. 6 is love and perfection. 7, completion, center, and eternal life. And also the ladybug represents the child. The child in the ladybug, you know, is that purity and freedom of the, you know, what child doesn't naturally want to pick up a ladybug and befriend it, right? So that was a beautiful message for you guys today, that you guys are the ladybugs, and it's telling you you have one big step. Your last step is your transformation into that ladybug. So getting back to the read, I was also getting blue ball. So we were talking about the masculines, impatient to shine his light, to heal and dream. Blue balls and a crystal globe was coming up as well. Sapphire headphones to secure star status future. 2 gold swords, or 2 gold and sapphire swords left behind to shut her up. It was like the masculine leaving behind something very valuable so that the karmic could have her keep her star status, or keep her kids' star status. Sagittarius Jupiter is misplaced. Stealing others' dreams, impatient to be seen. Snow globes and alarm clocks that glow blue. Everything with stars on it. The divine masculine will have no more of it. He's thinking of you. The divine masculine impatience, working hard to keep an open mind and quiet in a green environment. So this is all in the underlying energy, okay? So then recently, the King of Wands shaman at work, orange is the new black, and 1970s were coming up. Destiny of healing, vitamin C, grieving loss of a workplace or job, left, or a job left, and lining up drinks at the bar, or sad to lose a sculpture or artwork, 99 bottles of beer on the wall, blowing whistle of an air sign who's lying or just not in their truth, who's blocking union, and I was literally getting 1111, okay? Divine Masculine gets wish at work of new passion and inspiration. The foundation is all about 5D attention, sudden injustice, the Emperor out of control, or leaving his ego behind, needing attention or getting the wrong kind of attention, falling apart or getting epiphanies. The signs that were coming up in the underlying energies were Cancer, Pisces, Scorpios, well, the water energies, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, Taurus, and Libra. Centrally, it was all about divine justice, standing up for self, being wise, moving forward with a commitment, the Magician manifesting King of Pentacles status with 3 options: a snake, Caesar's dowry, or growing weed or herbs on his own, or a spirit surprise. He's challenged by, or the Divine Feminine's challenged by, ascension and the world. A Queen of Cups, jealous of a devil Leo, or a jealous Capricorn who is strong, presently being judged by an Empress. And the Empress may be judging a Queen of Cups and a Knight of Cups reversed. The Knight of Cups is coming up here as feeling sad that he's not with the Queen of Cups. Or it could be the Queen of Cups is insincere or jealous, is an insincere or jealous Capricorn Leo. The Empress in love, so the Empress can come up in different ways. Either the Empress can be a mother figure who's judging the masculine for wanting to be with the feminine. It can be an Empress in love with themselves, so that could be the mother, but it could be the karmic also coming up here. In love with self and always getting her way, which the masculine could definitely see as karmic that way. Or the Empress is his new love wish. There's 3 options. The present judgment that he's feeling, the Empress mother, or the mother of his children, or a new love wish. So the Empress could be these 3 different situations. Coming out from the dungeon, late for the show, expected to make an appearance, flames see the light and knows. Exposed at work by kids, and this is still coming up more the masculine, but it can regard the feminine as well. So just apply it to your situation. Exposed at work by kids, Leo, or the light, unhappy, unsatisfied, crying his eyes out, lacking faith, looking back, falling on his face, the King of Pentacles is now upright, but praying for grace, and impatient. The Queen of Wands lover, karmic, expecting him to show, make his magic. Today he's the trash man, manifesting trashy passion, her obsession with heartstrings, and exit stage left BS as he flees the scene. So whether they're doing role playing or he's literally trying to escape from her, only hugging when he or she's clean. So someone has some, cleanliness issues, but it can be really anything that's like type A personality issue. Karmic obsessed with playing his heartstrings, he sets the stage, dumps the trash, feeds her passions, and looks good. Like this, these are his jobs. That's how he's feeling. Always a performance, but him left and her always right. The Empress just sits there while he does all the work. This is BS. I'm red coat, she's blue. He's a man and she's an animal, a bull. Forcing him to play her fiddle, he longs for his twin. A long talk and a hug, sweet tweets and Watergate, her wispy hair, boobs, and plants that are fake. Soon with his 2 lips and flowers. To get his wish without rejection, he must stand in his power. Romantic tie rescue, as the King of Cups, secret, unhappy, family abuser. Or a High Priestess, unhappy over isolating, needing to get over it and come out and play. Or coming out with psychic abilities to family will make them unhappy, okay, whether it's the masculine or the feminine. The divine feminine she's seeing herself as her family legacy, impatient, divided, abusive words, but looking perfectly as a family. So the lineage, that she's inherited. The cards that came up from the romance angels for the feminine were give the relationship a chance and romantic feelings. Around her, twin flames celebrating holding back passion, ending a battle, or drinking and playing user, one-night stands and exhausted. So two totally different situations for the masculines. Clear blocks of higher self, needing to rise above and stay up night to stay grounded. Boldly ascending by letting go of all that you love, your independence and money, giving your power away. So it's saying, don't get the wrong idea about what it is to connect with your higher self. Just because you're becoming more spiritual and more of a medium or anything like that doesn't mean you have to give everything you love away. That's not the point. Don't give your power away. Give the things away that you're clinging to, that you don't love having around you, that you just for some reason you even need to cling to it. It's about letting go of those negative energies. Perseverance is underlined as really important. Persevering. Waking others up by fire to truth and balance. The King of Swords, Knight of Cups, and I'm starting to lose my voice here, so the King of Swords isn't speaking his truth. The Knight of Cups, King of Swords, that's him offering love. The Emperor turns his back on Queen of Wands and offers something healthy and loving, underlying passions, which he won't show, to ignite reunion. The King of Swords, the worst is over of fighting or competition and expansion. The light shines on him as he offers work without options. So it could be literally he's demanding you work with him, or somebody could be offering work but not getting options from the workplace, okay? 6 rays of satisfaction. When manipulative due to insecurities, the divine masculine's now knowing that his guides will keep him in check. New passion and growth, his world now all makes sense. And the signs coming up here, all the signs came up at the end of the read except for Scorpio, which was funny because my son's a Scorpio, so he kind of exited, stage left. So he exited, so Scorpio kind of has exited the scene. Scorpio was the only one that didn't come up towards the end of this read. So of all of the other signs, the ones that came up reversed, all the others came up upright. Taurus and Aries were both reversed. Taurus was both, depending what Taurus you are. But Aries was definitely coming up the worst as reversed, and Sagittarius was staying reversed. Virgo and Libra were coming up reversed, but ending up upright. Okay, so they were initially reversed, but they end up upright. So they do a flip. So what did I write down here? So the Scorpio's away. Virgo and Libra are turned around. Earth and air end up good. This earth was really strong. And air ends up good. But Sag and Aries bad. So if you're dealing with Sag or Aries, they may not be trustworthy. But, if it's going to be strong Aries or Sag. So like if they are a Sag, but that's the only Sag they have, and there are a lot of other signs that may not affect them so much. But those are the 2 signs coming up as negative. Family water signs were coming up as reversed or negative, but single water signs were coming up upright. And then, like I said, Earth, Cancer, and Pisces finished the strongest, okay, from this read. So thinking about success and attention, the journey leading the way, family legacy of the twin flames, the King of Wands shaman, divine justice, and ascension over sadness, connecting with higher self, dropping burdens and confessing at all cost. The King of Swords gets his wish once he drops the burdens, confesses, and connects. A single message, a thought, can change the world and what we've been taught. Thinking the King of Wands shaman, thinking, King of Wands shaman, that's how he's coming up, with attention on justice leading the way out of the dark into the light around the world. The family legacy of sadness, twin flames connect to higher self to transmute negative energy selves. And the King of Swords connects then to do the rest and dispense the justice. So here I was getting 3 groups coming up. That, you know, the initial awakeners, the meditating, the mind work, the King of Wands shaman types and indigos, bring attention to the blind justice system and the world ascending from the dark into the light. And then comes in the twin flames, the foundation, the family, the rod and staff unions, the structure, the blue rays of the twin flames, who are transmuting and are of the galactic mind, the 6 of family, love, and community. And then comes in the mind masters, the scientists, alchemists, code translators, law dispensation, and breakers. And I was associating them with the crystal builders. Okay? So we're kind of relating this to the children, you know, the indigo, rainbow, and crystal children. So here, if this is the case, then the twin flames are the rainbow children, the ones who bring love and just, you know, smile and help people feel good, okay? And then we have the indigos, the indigo twin flames, who are the ones, you know, they're the ground breakers, they're the ones that tear everything down, and then the crystal builders, the ones that rebuild. So I was getting a lot about the scientists, alchemists, and the people who will dispense the law, the new way that we're doing things, the law breakers and code translators. So all these people will start rebuilding. And they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Obviously, there can be twins who are in the other groups, okay? So, this is the read. And I'm going to pull you some oracle cards. Okay, so from the Ascension deck, take a deep breath. Clear and align. Clear and align. So clear and align. And again, since we had 2 kings in the read, they can both be divine masculines. It just depends on your situation. And they can both represent your divine masculine. Again, it just depends on your situation, but they could definitely represent another masculine in your life as well. Like the King of Wands was representing my son, but it could also represent my twin. Clear and align. Clear and align. All right, so for everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, this December 28, 2018, what is the advice? What do we need to know? The entire deck just fell. So I guess we need to know everything. Let's try that one more time. Okay, what do we need to know? For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all that's concerned. It was December 28, 2018. What do we need to know? Okay. 2, actually 3 came out, and the bottom is Archangel Metatron's Retreat number 28, which is perfect. Because today is the 28th, the underlying energy is this, 28-1, the twin flames, which we went over already. The affirmation is, I'm visiting Metatron's retreat in my sleep tonight. So again, I always see Metatron as the archangel overseeing the masculines. 3 cards came out. Very interesting. First came out 30, which is the 4 of Wands. That's the union card. Source supporting the 3. The Holy Trinity. The 3 of the third energy, but also the 3 of joy and self-expression and being social and bringing that to the world. And isn't that what we were just discussing about the rainbow children and the twins, okay? So that is a 3. It's source supporting the 3 and self-expression. Lord Maitreya is the head of the Great White Brotherhood, the beings whose auras radiate the pure white of integrity and high intention. Okay, and this read ended on that, 4444. It ended on the King of Swords. Dispensation of truth and justice. Okay, high integrity and high intention. Drawing this card suggests it's time for you to examine every area of your life carefully and practice purity of thought, word, and deed. You're asked to be an example of right living, for your light will then draw many to the ascension way. Your reward is the peace that passes all understanding and the joy of flowing smoothly on your higher path in life. And the affirmation is, I connect with the great white brotherhood and radiate pure white light today. And I want to distinguish this apart from any white racial groups, okay? Has nothing to do with that. But it was coming up purposely for me to distinguish that. We don't need to judge anyone, but when we're talking about white light, we're not talking about skinheads, okay? They're two different things, but we're not judging anything right now, okay? Jesus is 40, and also the gold ray of Christ came up, which is 5. Okay, so 40 is the emperor, but 40 is the page of cups. 4 is the emperor, but it's source supporting the emperor or the page of cups, which are, the two extremes. The emperor who is complete mastery over his domain, and the page of cups who's that pure innocent love. And then we have 5, which is the Hierophant of the traditional establishment. It's all about commitment and contracts, the establishment. It can be any leaders who are leaders of institutions, leaders of religions, anything like that. And it can represent God. It can represent a priest or some religious leader. So we have that energy and the page of cups. That can be very good or very bad. So both of those energies were kind of coming up today in the messages that came through. So for Jesus, it says, and this is number 40, Jesus came from Venus, planet of love. He was sent to Earth to carry the Christ light at a time when the energy was very low. He incarnated as an Essene and received spiritual teachings throughout his childhood and adult life. Then he underwent many initiations to prepare his energy centers to carry the vibration of unconditional love. This card reminds you, and my voice is going, this card reminds you that all challenging people and situations are tests to prepare you for ascension. To pass these tests, you need to respond to them with unconditional love and balance. Remember that there's only love, and the affirmation is, I respond with unconditional love today. And it's interesting that Jesus is coming up, because yesterday in the masculine read that I read, it was coming up a lot as him, in the Jesus role of being love. Okay, so the gold ray of Christ, number 5, reads, and again, 5 is change, freedom, expansion, romance, children. Blessings pour onto you when you choose this card of unconditional love. The gold ray of Christ is held within the cosmic heart at the 9th dimension. The angels ask you to invoke the love, wisdom, healing, and protection of this beautiful energy. Ask it to flow through you and surround you with its golden light. When you carry this high frequency force in your aura, you can relax and know you are totally safe. Remember to send the gold ray of Christ to others. Okay, so golden stuff was coming up a lot yesterday as well. The affirmation is, I am the gold ray of Christ. And I respond with unconditional love today. Alright, so from the past life deck, take another deep breath. Clear and align. Clear and align. So this December 28th, 2018, what is the advice for everyone watching for the best and highest good of those concerned? Alright, I've got 3 again. So there's twice 3, and vows is at the bottom of the deck. Alright, so what I'm seeing here, it's bringing up opposites and polarizing and trying not to do that. So I brought up the white and the white. Here we're bringing up the 2 girls watching someone take their vows, and the one is totally enticed by it, and the other one has her eyes down, very sad. So everybody has both within them. So it's bringing up that because I brought up the white brotherhood and then the skinheads as two different white groups, but that we all have the light and the dark within us. And in our mastery is to stay neutral, okay, in order to keep our energy high and help raise the vibration of those around you, okay. And underneath the vows is male, female. Okay, this is just the underlying energy. But back to back, again, that's a way of aligning your energies, which was really cool when I did the South of France retreat with Mercedes Kirkle. One of the exercises we did was a dance like that, back to back, and boy, did number one, I connected to every person I was in the group with. I mean, they were all very old souls that I knew very well. I mean, I cried the first day when we met in the circle, which I never cry in front of public, out in public, not usually anyway. But when I danced with her, as soon as our heads connected, I mean, we felt it when we were dancing spine to spine, but as soon as I put my head back against hers, we literally shot up like a dart. It was very cool. So that's definitely important, sitting back to back, a way of integrating your energies. And here we have the vows. And the vows of the male and female being watched by the children. So I see division here. So in some circumstances this will apply and some won't, obviously if there's no children. This could apply to having two children or having two lovers outside your marriage. But the energy here is of, if you do have children, one wants the parents to stay together, the other one wants them to break up. One is very curious about the journey, and it was just 44 again, and the other one wants, is very sad because they don't want their parents to break up. But it could be with two other lovers too. One may be sad and the other one doesn't care. They're kind of just curious about the whole situation. Alright, so that's coming up as the underlying energy. The cards that came out were Native American. Alright, Native American. So this teepee always reminds me of a filter. And then Orphan. And Little Orphan Annie just came up. And then Mother. Okay, so here we have again the mother and two children. So children are definitely coming up in regards to this message. And she's reading to them in an old winged chair. Wing was coming up when I was looking up red boots or red coat. Red wings came up. And I was just getting that from a winged chair. Because that's very traditional, what we used to have growing up. Not so much anymore. It's still there, but not everyone has them anymore. It used to be very typical. And then reading to your children. So whatever tradition was. So I'm getting within tradition, even though the mother was reading to both, one child always felt left out. And this is speaking to you guys, okay? And then we have the teepee. And then I'm getting, my room in the house was like, we were very fortunate, we each had our own room. Well, my brothers kind of shared a room, but it was a big room. But we were very fortunate we had our own rooms, but mine was like the Cinderella room. It was the very small back of the house, dark. I mean, my window, I had one small window and it was recessed, so I literally got no light to my room. It was a Cinderella room. It was very depressing. But that's the energy I'm getting, like there's always one child that feels left out. And then the teepee, I was getting, well, two things. I'm getting, how camping outside or, making a blanket cave, in your house or outside, whatever it is. But what kids do, kids games, or having a playhouse outside. To be more in nature. I'm getting a measuring cup here. Cup size. The other thing I was getting that it made me remember was, what was that? About tents. The other thing. It reminded me of, we had mice in our attic, and we had central air conditioning, so we had vents in our ceilings. And growing up, I was terrified that a mouse would drop through the vents, because I didn't know. And so I would seal my covers around me to make sure that no mice got in. And it was so funny because when I was older in high school or home from college one day, I was just lying on my bed. I just come in there, I collapsed tired, and in under my door walks a little mouse. It just cracked me up because I couldn't believe I spent my whole childhood terrified of that little guy. And he just came walking in. Hello. It was pretty funny. But those are the things that it's bringing up here. I'm getting a little Orphan Annie again. So there may be a message there for Annie or Anne. Oh, I was just getting an Anne that I know. Mother. And then I'm getting Cancer energy. Not the disease Cancer, but Cancer mother energy, since it is the North Node right now. So this message could be specific to someone who's a Cancer as well. But it also could be relating to the disease Cancer, because I watched a movie last night of a mother dying of cancer. So definitely that's coming up too. Okay. But because there needs to be more outside. The kids need to play. You know, when we were growing up, the kids all used to play outside, and no one plays outside anymore. It's not healthy. But that's some of the energy coming up, or just whatever comes up from past life stuff for you guys. And it's all about the children and the mother and father, and Indians, natural living. All right, take one more deep breath for the journey of love. That could be relating that this child that's left out is the shaman child. The pure one I was just getting. Very well. Very well. Okay, so take one more deep breath. Alright, so it's December 28th, 2018. What do we need to know for everyone watching in the highest and best good of all those concerned? What is the message from our masters, from Jesus? And since Jesus, you are coming through so much, what is the message from you today? Okay, it was very specific. This one wants to come out too. Actually, 3. Sweet Soul Rising, number 20 is the bottom of the deck. It's the Judgment card. Okay. And then again, that's very much the Page of Cups, which came up in contrast to the Emperor. And 20 is the Judgment. It's the 0 of Source energy backing up the feminine. Sweet Soul Rising. And that's interesting because 38, the Pearl Threaded, is underneath that. And 38 is the Queen of Cups. The 3 cards that came out for you, and the third one was number 3. First one's number 26. And we're coming up on 5757, which is the 3 of Swords. Okay, that's that heartbreak, separation, heart issues. And I have been having a lot of chest pain things going on, so that might be coming up for you as well. This is Guardian of the Soul Family. Number 26 is the Page of Wands. So you're the Page of Cups and Page of Wands. I often see the masculine as their inner child as the Page of Wands, and the feminine as the Page of Cups. And this is Guardian of the Soul Family. There's definitely a child involved here with the Page of Wands. It's very soft and more of the ovum. So the uterus, ovaries, and children. And there's so much green here. There's some rust of these root to sacral chakra and whites of purity. And then we also have 66 of coming together. 66 is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Page of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. This is very root chakra coming out. Crap. I'm blanking out on that word. The nerve. I know the nerve. I have concussion issues, so I blank out on the word, but you know what I'm talking about. So there's sacral nerve issues being shown in this card. All right, I'm being shown that this is coming. The muscles coming out from the root spine. Okay, because then you see like the whites or the butt cheeks, which I just got as well. Okay, because that's all fat. That's not an issue. It's the muscles beneath and the root is what I'm coming up. And it could be the SI joints as well above are inflamed, or just the root of the issue. Everything else around it is very nice blue and green. But there's an area coming out from the spine, whether it's your very root or it could be above your hips, is inflamed. Okay, so it needs attention. That's the Queen of Pentacles. And then the third card is Burning Hero, which is number 3. And again, this is all 3 of them have a swirl. The first one really doesn't show the swirl, but it is the circle. And it, you know, it shows an incomplete edge there, you know, like a overlapping circle, like a key ring. But then we have the coming together with the swirl of 2 swirls, and then this is 1. This is more like, this is like a tunnel. This is like a cavity. Like I was showing, maybe somebody has a cavity, but like in the sand art, it was coming up that someone was putting their arm into a cavity, whether it's delivering a baby, whether it's a human or an animal baby, but other cavities also. So it could be, you know, a dental cavity as well. But it's definitely coming up more feminine. It's very peaches and yellows and greens. Burning Hero. 3 is the Empress and Mother Nature. I'm also getting, this keeps coming up, this is a common thread here. You know how when the big pipes are kind of half in the ground and half out, and the kids will play in them? I'm seeing one that's completely above ground, but it's on the ground, or it could be completely underneath the ground in a cave, and someone's going through this. So it's obviously also portal energy. So 26, Page of Wands, 66, Queen of Pentacles, and 3 is the Empress, Mother Earth. And Queen of Pentacles is just like, you know, the Empress before she became Empress. So it's very much of that grounded energy. And then we have the young, guardian of the soul family, 26, the Page of Wands, which is represented as the masculine being much younger, okay? All right, so 26, the guardian of the soul family. You're being drawn to kindred spirits in this physical world by loving guardians in the spiritual worlds. If you feel you're leaving relationships behind, do not be afraid. The space that such courageous action creates is sometimes necessary in order to have room for the new to enter your sphere of consciousness. You may also feel that somehow a relationship that seemed to be held back from you is now becoming available to you. There is a great soul love calling you into more intimate connection now. It is sanctioned by the divine. It is a karmic destiny to fulfill. There is love that you are to experience in connection with particular souls, predetermined by the divine plan. If you're struggling to feel the soul purpose in your current relationships, take heart, for you're being helped by divine guardians who understand and support the sacred purpose of your relationships. Be open to current relationships healing, whether that means improved communication and an enriched experience, or the realization that you've traveled as far as you can go together, and know that new relationships are going to be an important aspect of your spiritual destiny being fulfilled. Trust in the divine timing of your life and open your heart to the guardians who help you with unconditional love now. The guidance of the oracle for you is that relationship healing is taking place. In present relationships unfolding and attracting the right relationships for your future growth, and in leaving behind relationships of the past with a peaceful heart. Be gentle with your heart, beloved, all is well. Okay, so you're having relationship healing. Leaving and starting. When I open my heart, you cover me with a blanket of love and warm the silence with your caress. Words unspoken say it all as we become more than we are alone. Okay? But either way, it's about no worries, no fear. Let's see how long this goes. So 66 is coming together. And I know that the other one is pretty short, so, all right. 66, coming together. You and another soul are coming together into each other's worlds. It's a karmic destiny that is unfolding, an expression of divine plans set in motion many lifetimes ago. That destiny may have a romantic purpose, it may have a sacredness that is sexual. It may have a sacredness that is creative, tender, about learning, self-esteem, or courage. It may bring a gift of enduring friendship or loyalty, or be an expression of a passing flash of divine force that shakes your foundations and helps move you out of a situation which would have consumed your light with tediousness and playing small. The coming together is happening, however. Know it is of love. This oracle brings guidance. You're going to be moved by love. Whether it's long-term or fast and furious, it is love and it has meaning. Let it be what it is and do not try to force it to become what you think it must be. It has worth as you do. As do you. Enjoy the experience and know it serves your growth. And it simply states that two energy patterns came together, a shared frequency in a field of possibilities, and there was resonance. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so let go of outcomes. That's what that one's saying. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Burning Heroes number 3. From the transformative fires of life tests, you emerge now stronger in self-belief, overcoming self-doubt and fear, and shedding the layers that have held you back from burning as a naked flame of divine love. Can you perceive the coolness fast approaching to soothe your fire-weary soul? Peace is coming to you now, a respite from the fire before you're ready to burn into love again. The intensity of fire exists in relationship in order to cool serenity, so that the intensity of fire exists in relationship to cool serenity, and you are capable of experiencing both. Your inner fires push you forward, and your creative self-expression will manifest into the most beautiful forms. This is assured. You burn bright now, and yet it'll be the cooling of your soul's embers that replenishes you and inspires you to new creative depths and heights in due time. This oracle brings you a message. From the heat of your labor, sweet success will arise, and you can act now as if that success has already been made manifest. It is only a matter of time before it is so. And from that success, new levels of experience and creative manifestation will take place. You're in a powerful creative cycle of intensity and serenity, dancing with each other through your heart like the sweet relationship of day and night. Night and day, you are the one. All right, that's coming up also. This cycle yields great harvest. Offer yourself in contribution to the greater good, and your harvest will be not only of earthly delight, but of heavenly blessings too. So it's emphasizing the same message as the ladybug in transformation, okay? And the poem states, always feeling your love in every cell of my being, I open my soul, becoming one in your embrace. How rich the moments shared. I savor every one, and even when apart, your love envelops me with knowing we are complete. Together, like a new day, we are born. Okay? So you're learning to do the dance. Okay? Sometimes you're going to get warm and hot, and sometimes you're going to get cold and freeze. But we're trying not to get too hot, and we're trying not to freeze. Okay? I'm going to show you the picture of the reed real quick. Okay? This is the entire reed. Actually, let me pull this up a little bit so you can see it without the light shining. Sorry, I know it's not the greatest from screen to screen, but have a great day, guys. I'm going to get a nap, I hope. Drink your water, get your rest, rise and be loved. Have an amazing day, guys.